get physical. It's Jordan here, back in with this week's update and all the physical releases coming to the Switch. We are in the first week of November, November 1st until the 4th, Monday to Friday. Retail, low print imports, but no community spotlight this week, sorry. I just need a bit of a break, I had a lot of content last week. But as a sort of swap, while there's plenty of retail releases this week, not all are worth an entire paragraph of writing from yours truly. And so this week I'm bringing out the upcoming imports section once again. Remember, when we get to 100,000 subscribers, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch OLED model, so subscribe. I know you're all subscribed anyway by now, but if you're not somehow, then do it. You might win a Nintendo Switch OLED. Astria Ascending should finally be releasing this week in Europe and North America after a slight delay from its digital release last month. This was released physically in Japan already with a standard edition and a collector's edition, but now it's worldwide in only a standard edition. This is a JRPG from people who had a hand in some Final Fantasy games, and while it was praised for various aspects, reviews were not exactly stellar overall. Personally, even though I'm interested in the gameplay, I don't quite know what to make of the art style, not really my cup of tea. But if you're a JRPG collector, you're probably going to be wanting this in your collection. And our executive producers Raven Knight, JCross7776, Vilos, Elissa and Michael Del Polito have chosen this as their pick of the week. My Universe Interior Design. Yes, live out your fantasy of being Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen, and yes, that's one hell of a dated reference for some people out there. My Universe, My Baby, New Edition. It's time to throw the old baby out because there is a new one on the block. My Universe, Puppies and Kittens. If you want some cheap Nintendogs in your life, then this one may suffice. They already had the vet version of My Universe, so maybe this is the aftermath after your doggo has been jabbed with needles. Now it's time to actually take care of them. And these three My Universe games I think should be releasing in North America later on. This is for Europe this week. World War Z, or Z if you're a proper person, should be releasing physically this week. It's supposed to be. This is a fast-paced third-person shooter featuring swarms of hundreds of zombies based on a movie, which I think is based on a novel, which in turn was based on a long-lost Shakespeare play. One of those is not true. This was, or is, a hugely popular game on PC from what I remember, selling millions of copies and being constantly in the top ranking Steam games being played. It looks pretty swell actually, and a similar sort of vibe to last week's Dying Light. Could be a good one if it runs well on the Switch, which if the trailer is anything to go by, it should. And our executive producers Jonathan Rumo, Robotech, God of Resin, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Fortnite Minty Legends is a download code in a box. I'm not going to bring out the special section for this because let's face it, Fortnite just ain't worth it. Just Dance is getting its annual release. I don't even know what we're on. It must be 2022, right? Yes, that's the year, right? It will be. What am I talking about? This is great for those who can't stop dancing on a yearly basis. No doubt there's going to be more songs this year from artists that I'm way out of touch to know about. Is that Dua Lipa lady on? That's as far as my modern day music knowledge goes, but that's mainly because of a comment a few weeks ago. And our executive producer Punky Deucer has chosen this as his pick of the week. Cupid Parasite is an oddly titled Otomi visual novel. Those wacky visual novel people, they know how to pick a title. It's either convolutedly long or just amazingly cool. No other genre maker would dare to even pick what visual novel people do. I mean, you'd never get a AAA action game called Gravy Apostrophe, but I bet there is a visual novel called that. More game developers need to be as ballsy as visual novels do. Fast and Furious, Spy Racer's Rise of Shifter. Now that's a title that takes me about 15 years to when replacing letters with numbers was socially acceptable. People who do that these days are rightly ostracized from society. Don't do that shit. This looks like it was a racing game that got a franchise license slapped on at the very end, since most of this doesn't seem to have anything to do with Fast and the Furious. And once again, can we just take the time to appreciate that outright games have yet another release? It's insanity. I mean, Christmas is coming up, which is probably when they make the most money, so good on you outright. Keep the shovelware coming. Little Nightmares 1 and 2 should be out fully in Europe this week. I think it was out in some places last week, but I thought I'd leave it to this week after last week's craziness. This is a double pack of two excellent little horrors. Sadly, the second game is a download code. Boo. Well, now here's an interesting, obscure one. Having seen on a Discord server, it appears that Scandinavia is getting an exclusive physical release this week. Are you ready? Here we go. Flåklypa Grand Prix. Don't know. Apparently this is based off a classic movie that I've never heard of, but it does have an English name and it's just as weird. Pinchcliffe Grand Prix. I have no idea. I don't know if this game has English, nor if it's going to get a wider release, but this, at the minute, it's as obscure gets. Flåklypa Grand Prix. Yes. And our executive producer, Cartoon Soren, is repping his native Scandinavia, as this is his pick of the week. Now, before we get into the low prints, just a reminder of our content last week. We had a video about 100 horror games on the Switch. We had a Fatal Frame review, thanks to everyone who stopped by. Our review still got trounced by everybody else, but, you know, I appreciate the effort, thank you very much. Plus, of course, we had Super Robot Wars 30. I did manage to get my review out late last week, and that's pretty much why I'm exhausted and don't fancy the community part this week. Alright, the low prints. Eternal Radiance was put up for individual order late last week. We exclusively announced this physical release a few months back alongside Neocab and Paradise Killer. Well, you can order this game by itself now from oneprintgames.com and it's shipping in the next week or two. This is an action RPG with visual novel elements. It looks really great. I really like the artwork. The One Print Games variant from their website has a really nice exclusive cover art and comes with a 2 CD soundtrack, baby, with 43 tracks, a keychain, guidebook, and sticker. It looks really nice, love the cover art. Alternatively, there is a cover variant on Play Asia, which is nice but not quite as good, and it doesn't come with any goodies. But if you want that one, links are below for that, and if you use those Play Asia links, of course, it supports us. But I don't blame you for wanting that delicious soundtrack CD. And our executive producer Thorn Metal Luna's chosen this as his pick of the week. Cyanide and Happiness Freakpocolypse was put up for pre-order late last week, a super surprise announcement. This is episode 1, coming in both the standard edition and collector's edition. Unusually, this is available in 2 places. It's at Limited Run, but also on the publisher's store, Serenity Forge. So, you know Limited Run, they are all about supporting the publishers and the developers. That is their primary goal. So I'm sure they would 100% agree with me here, and that you should completely ignore Limited Run and just buy it straight from the publisher Serenity Forge. They would definitely agree with that because, you know, they would get more money, and that's what Limited Run are all about. Plus, you get a nice sticker from Serenity Forge, and they're just really nice people. Honestly, I talked with them, and they are worth supporting. So head over to store.serenityforge.com and give your full support to them and not Limited Run. It's an open pre-order for this darkly humid adventure game. I actually quite like the collector's edition. Mushihimesama. I think I said that right the first time. Yes. This is another limited run release that was put up for pre-order last week. This is a classic cave shooter, bullet hell in nature, that has the unique theme of insects. All sorts of 6-legged freaks. God, I hope there's flies and mosquitoes in this because, to be honest, they are the pricks of the insecta class and the only animals that I will willingly murder. Anyways, I think this is going to be a popular one. I was hoping this would get a physical release in its homeland of Japan in a nice triple pack with its brethren shooters, but there's been no word, sadly. Although I did hear that a publisher did offer to do that, but Limited Run persuaded them to do otherwise. There is a standard edition as well as a collector's edition. And our executive producer Brent McLean has chosen this as his pick of the week. #Drive was another surprise distribution title from Limited Run. This was limited to just a few thousand units each for both the standard edition and collector's edition. This is an endless driver as you drive for as long as possible, drifting around, avoiding collisions, picking up cash and fuel. It's originally a mobile game, so it has those kind of slow progression systems in place, but to be fair, it looks decent enough. And I rather like the zen feeling of the cover art. I know some people don't, but I can get down with that. The collector's edition includes a Steenbok. Hopefully you don't run over Steenboks that are crossing the road in this game. Maybe this is still in stock when this video goes out, but I don't know. And this is Boombox, our executive producer's pick of the week. Alright, let's head into the imports. Remember, if anything takes your fancy and you'd like to import it for yourself, then consider using the links below in the description and the pinned comment. If you use those links, then it also massively helps support this series ever so much. You guys are wonderful as always, and I can't thank you enough. Plus, in return for using our links, you can get a very nice 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia if you use the coupon code SwitchWatchTV while checking out. That's all one word, SwitchWatchTV, while checking out for 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia. And guess what? As I probably anticipated, because I kind of guessed this was happening, but I didn't know for sure until Saturday morning, yes, PlayAsia are having free shipping. Yes, free shipping on any orders that are over $50. There's a $50 kind of minimum on this, but yeah, if you order anything at $50, you will get free shipping. So now is the best time to get all your pre-orders in, and to be honest, that's why I'm doing the upcoming import section of this video, so you know what you can pre-order. But before we get into the upcoming imports, let's talk about the imports this week, and to be honest, there's not much. Oshiri Tantai Pupu Mirai no Me Tante Tojo. There's no English, but it looks ripe for an episode of Japanese Gems maybe, because that's a guy with a butt face. Model Debut 2 hashtag Nicola is no English, and Danganronpa Decadence, no English, but we will get this next month. Alright, now the upcoming ones. Eternal Radiance, I mentioned this previously, is releasing on PlayAsia on November 12th. I mentioned this already in today's episode. Coming up a little later on, they have Paradise Killer, a fantastic mystery adventure game as well. You can get that pre-ordered with the triple pack, or you can buy it by itself in the near future. Hashihime of the Old Book Town is an upcoming visual novel. I believe this is dude on dude action, so something a little bit different. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty examples of this type, but they're very rarely as prominent as this one. There is English on this import. Deathsmiles 1 and 2 is an upcoming double pack of shooters, although I think there's technically 3 in here if you count a remix version of the first game. This is getting a strictly limited version in Europe, but nothing for North America that we know of. It has English in both standard and collector's editions. Fatal Frame released physically in Japan and China last week, but there's still the Southeast Asian version coming on November 30th in line with the English update. Please watch my review of this if you didn't already. I'd massively appreciate it. It's a fantastic horror game. Alba is an upcoming physical release. This is a charming, feel-good open-world adventure game that was originally on mobile, but still highly recommended for its console versions. The Japanese release is coming in December and has English. I would hope of a Western physical, but nothing has been announced as of yet. The Battle Cats Unite is finally getting an English Asian release. This was released in Japan a while back, and it's just adorable craziness. No idea what's going on here, but it looks fabulous. Mini games filled with tower defense stuff, maybe. Literally no idea, but I want to know. I really want to know. Cotton Rock and Roll is a brand new Cotton game. How many have we had this year? I don't know. Is it too many? No. Cotton is adorable. Now, honestly, this is not exactly the best looking game in the series that I've seen. Thankfully, the Dreamcast can never be outdone with awfulness visually, but hey, the gameplay looks to be solid. I think this will get a Western release at some point. I don't know for sure, just a guess. English is unknown on the Japanese version. Dead by Daylight 5th Anniversary Edition. This is the third physical game of this available in Japan. The West only ever got the base game, while Japan got that, plus the Silent Hill Edition, and now the 5th Anniversary, which, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how massively different it is from the others, but I do know that this will have Resident Evil content, but I think that's a download code, I think. Trigger Witch is a PlayAsia exclusive release. This is a great mix of a Zelda-style game with a twin-stick shooter. It's a lot of fun, as you'll find in my review, and I was very excited when a physical edition was announced. If you're looking for some fun gameplay that can even be co-op, then look no further than this. There is a standard edition, as well as a collector's edition, and there are still some available. DEEEER Simulator, your average everyday deer game, is basically just Goat Sim, right? Except with a deer and just a little more cinematics. I mean, it looks ridiculous. I don't know what else to say about this. I'd have thought this could get a Western physical, but nothing has been announced that I've seen. But the Japanese release does have English. Eastward is releasing physically in Japan with a standard edition and a mini collector's edition with beautiful artwork. I think we all know that I Am 8-Bit are probably going to be doing this in the West when they can be asked to officially unveil it, but for some reason they just still want to tease, keep on teasing. Just get on with it. Get on with it. Otherwise, people are going to buy this Japanese one. See, if you can't be asked to wait for them, then you can get the Japanese version, which does have English, and there's also a collector's edition available. Illmatic Envelope Swamp and Radirgy Swag. This is a double pack of shmups. Not sure if there's English on the cartridge, but what you're getting are two weird and wonderful shooters that defy sense. Craziness is the order of the day here in a standard edition and collector's edition. The Letter, a horror visual novel, is an upcoming, well, visual novel, supposedly rather scary one too. It has a decent length, good characters and plenty of creepiness. This is a Play Asia exclusive expected to be shipping at the end of this month in a standard edition and collector's edition, which has some properly creepy box art. I love it. Very nice, and I'm looking forward to it. Love Esquire is also another Play Asia exclusive, another visual novel, but this time mixed in with some fun JRPG elements. This is full of humor and tongue-in-cheek, with the story as you are a squire trying to get your end away. This is expected to ship at the end of the month with a standard edition and collector's edition, which I've got my pre-order in for. Of course I have. Minna the Kuuki Yomi 123 Plus is a quirky little package of 4 games, the 3 main games in the Consider It series, plus a version made for phones in Japan. These are games where you are judged on just how considerate you are of other people, which, as a British person, I find very wholesome. The bonus game does not have English, but the 3 proper games do. This looks absolutely lovely. The Colonists is a relaxing settlement building game inspired by the classics like The Settlers. Build your colony in either campaign mode or in sandbox mode. It looks really good and is releasing soon. I don't know if pre-orders are open yet, but it's exclusive to Asia and does have English. My Girlfriend is a Mermaid? Collector's edition. Yes, this released physically already in a standard edition many years ago, but now it's the 5th anniversary. Kosen have put together a collector's edition for next year, which includes soundtrack CD, pin, badge, acrylic stand, and digital art book. And it's actually, believe it or not, cheaper than the standard version, at least on Play Asia. And it does have English, of course. Clockwork Aquario is releasing in Japan at the end of the month. This was given a pre-order from Strictly Limited Games, which is sold out in its standard edition, but this should be more readily available in Japan with a standard and collector's edition. No idea if it has English, but it would be pretty shitty if it didn't. Pui Pui Molcar, Let's Molcar Party. 4 people, 10 minigames, mole cars. Yes, you heard that. Mole cars. Dancing, football, cops and robbers. This looks magical. I mean, the football looks like a code-for-code copy of Rocket League, but with moles as cars, and therefore it's better. You help build up a desolate town by playing the minigames. The Asian version has English for sure. I don't know about the Japanese one, but there's a standard edition, but you ain't gonna want that when there's a collector's edition which comes with a plushie of a mole car. Record of Lodoss War, Deedlit. Something, I forgot the name, I didn't write it, is a game I am legit excited for. This is a Metroidvania style game that looks properly badass. Great visuals, great action. If you want a Symphony of the Night style game but without the Castlevania name, then look no further than this. Loving the box art as well. Apparently it's based off a manga series. I have no idea. I can't wait to get my hands on it when it releases mid-December. RPGolf Legends is a game for next year. As such, we really have no idea whether it's going to be a Western physical or not. I'm guessing it probably will, but who knows at the minute. I think we've got to be honest here with ourselves. This is jumping off the back of Golf Story, and so what? We need more of that. Play golf as though it's an RPG. Play golf, battle monsters, gather treasure, yes please. Late January for this one, I'm definitely down for it. The Japanese release does have English if you don't want to wait for a Western announcement. Smashing the Battle is the last Play Asia exclusive on this list, and this is an action game made by the same devs as Metallic Child, which is one of my favorite games of the year, believe it or not. This Ghost Soul edition includes tons of new content for fans of action and anime babes together. There's a standard edition and collector's edition, of course. Kogan's Sword of Rewind is an upcoming action side-scrolling game where you have a sword that rewinds time. Who'd have thought that? It looks pretty decent to be fair, and this Japanese release is coming in late January and will have English. There's been no word of a Western physical as of yet, although I think there is a chance. Maybe wait and see on this one though. The Valis Collection is something I want to mention because I know a lot of people are really interested in it. This is a collection of games in the Valis series 1, 2 and 3, but sadly it has been confirmed there is no English. I guess it's not entirely essential due to the nature of these retro platformers, and there's been no word of a Western physical at any point yet. So yeah, do what you want with that information, but links are below if you want to order it. And by the way, I did chat with some people at Play Asia at the weekend, and they were kind enough to tell me about how much stock they have left available on some of their Switch exclusives, like the low stock ones. So the ones that are ready and shipping at the minute, Seabed Standard Edition, at the weekend, it had around 50 units left. Murder by Numbers, the Standard Edition, less than 200, and If My Heart Had Wings Collector's Edition, that is less than 50 units left. So if you're on the fence with those, don't miss out because they are nearly gone. Alright, as I said, there's no community spotlight this week because it's a long enough episode and I'm just really tired. So don't send me any pictures because I've got enough for next week. Hold off on showing me all your great games until then. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of New Physicals. Special thanks to our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brett McLean, Jonathan Rumor, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, J Cross 7776, Elissa, Punky Deucer, Michael Del Polito, Cartoon Soren, Jack Severus, Velos, Robotech Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, and Parsnip Coffee. Thank you ever so much for your support. Plus you, yes, you watching right now, if you watched all the way through, what a legend you are. If you watched all the way through, give me a thumbs up in the comments, not like the like button, in the comments, and yeah, I'll give you one back because you help us grow. Thank you ever so much. Check out some of our other stuff. I mentioned them already. Go watch them.